Hello and welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are watching a really special game. This game is considered to be one of the greatest chess games ever played in chess history. This game was played in 1963 and it was played between Robert Byrne, who was playing with white, and Bobby Fischer, who was playing with black pieces. It's worth noting that Bobby Fischer was a 20-year-old chess grandmaster when this tournament was taking place, and his opponent was a really strong international master who achieved his grandmaster rank at the end of that season. Bobby Fischer won this tournament with a perfect score, 11 out of 11 wins. Truly an amazing performance, one of the best in chess history. And what is so unique about this game is that Bobby Fischer didn't actually bend the rule of chess, nor he invented some new special chess rule, but he simply outplayed his opponent with his incredible and brilliant chess tactics. This game is one of a kind, really, and a game you have to watch. If you're not familiar with it, you will definitely enjoy it, so please stay until the end of this video, you will not be disappointed. And without further ado, we will go straight into the game. Robert Byrne opened the game with d4, Fischer replies with knight f6, White plays c4, and Fischer now plays g6. His idea is simple, he wants to fianchetto his bishop on g7 square. White continues with g3, his idea is also the same, he wants to put this bishop on g2, but right now Fischer is not so eager to put bishop on g7, but he firstly plays c6, with the idea to simply say to the white that he is ready to counter in the center and he will strike back if white plays something like e4. Now it's worth mentioning that, for example, if you now play instead of c6 after g3, if you play immediately bishop g7, right now bishop g2 will be played, and if you now play c6, then e4 is played by white, and now white has a control in the center, and this sort of move is not possible anymore. So that is the reason why Fischer doesn't want to enter those sort of positions, and it's really going to be hard with this strong white center in the middle. So that is the reason why c6 is played before bishop g7, and our game continued with bishop g2 for white, d5 immediately for Bobby Fischer. After c takes on d5, c takes on d5, knight c3 was played for white with the idea to put pressure on this pawn. Right now this pawn is still not hanging and Fischer is now ready to play bishop g7. Our game continued with e3, and after castle for black, white decided to play knight g to e2. He simply wants to develop his piece, and also he doesn't want to cover this white squared bishop here, so that is the idea behind this move. And after b6 for Bobby Fischer, white plays b3, and we have a very symmetrical position. It's worth mentioning here that in annotation in analysis, I will show you another line here. So after b6, maybe white could have continued with knight f4, then the game would continue with e6, and after b3, bishop a6 would be played for Bobby Fischer, and after rook e1, of course this rook was attacked here. Black would continue with rook c8, and after bishop a3, right now with the same idea for white, Fischer needs to move his rook, and after rook c1 the position is completely equal. So this is one of the ways to play this position, as it was mentioned in the analysis of this game, but our game didn't go that way. So after b6, b3 was played, and our game continues with bishop a6 for Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer still plays the same move, so right now he's kind of aiming at this knight and is spinning this rook. So white now does the same for him, he plays bishop a3, right now again wants to pressure this pawn and wants to pressure this rook if this pawn is pushed. So this position, as you can see right now, really symmetrical. The only thing a little bit different about this position is actually this knight and this knight here, and this pawn and this pawn here. So those are a little bit different. Those pieces are located a little bit differently. All of other pieces, as you can see, are put similarly, and the position is really symmetrical, but Fischer actually manages to find a way to turn out as a winner in this game. Usually when you have these sort of positions, the thing is that players will try to maneuver their pieces, and that's how these positions are usually played. But of course Fischer was a brilliant chess mind, and he finds a way to exploit white's position, and he finds this amazing idea. So after bishop a3 was played for white, the game continued with rook e8 for Bobby Fischer. He wants to simply move his rook from this pin and then prepare this e4 move. So our game continued with queen d2 for white. white also wants to connect his rooks and maybe put a queen on a little bit better place. Right now, Fischer finds an incredible resource and he plays e5. Now, this seems easy, but Fischer mentioned in his works that actually he was a bit scared of weakening this queen pawn, but he actually mentions that he thought he was completely fine because white will not have enough time to actually use this weakness of black. So that is the reason why this was played. And now we have an exchange, d takes on e5, and after knight takes on e5, rook f to d1 was played. Now this seems like a completely logical move and completely normal move in pretty much all of the normal positions. You simply move your rook from this dangerous bishop and you also attack this pawn. What can go wrong? But actually it turns out that this is the wrong rook to play. This is the wrong rook to play, and the best move was actually after knight picking up on e5 to actually play rook a to d1. Why? I will now show you why. So for example, if queen d7 is played for Bobby Fischer, then the game continues with queen c2 and you simply and peacefully continue the game. But after rook a to d1, if a black wants to strike now something like playing knight to d3 for example, then we have queen c2. And if black is careless, if he plays something intermediate move like queen c8, then white will gladly take this opportunity and pick up this knight. After bishop picks up on d3, queen picks up on d3, and computer actually values this position as 2.5 for white. So white is doing much better here, although the material is equal. White is doing much better because his pieces are all developed and they will all be in game really soon, and it will be really hard for black to counter these really developed pieces. And that is the reason why rook f to d1 was a better option. Now with rook a to d1 was a better option. With rook f to d1, if we go back to a position, looks like a completely decent move, but white actually missed the tactical idea of Bobby Fischer, and now we are coming to the chess brilliancy. And believe it or not, we are only 7 moves until the end of this game. So if you find this game interesting so far, please make sure to leave a comment, like and share the video, as those types of actions really help me. It doesn't cost you a lot and it really benefits me a lot as a creator. Thank you so much in advance, and we will continue our game. So as we mentioned, this is the wrong rook to play, and because white missed a tactical idea by Bobby Fischer. Of course, this tactical idea is amazing, and that is why white was completely stunned when he saw the next following moves. So firstly, Fischer plays knight d3. A really strong move by Bobby Fischer. For now, nothing seems so obvious. It's only obvious that this knight is really strong and it's completely controlling a lot of squares in the white position. A really annoying piece for you to have. Byrne now plays queen c2. Unfortunately, this doesn't solve any of white's problems. And now Fischer continues with a brilliant sacrifice, and this sacrifice was unknown even to the persons watching this game live, and this is knight picks up on f2. For now, nothing seems obvious. It doesn't seem that black is gaining anything with this move, but until the end of this game, which will be really soon, you will find out as well what was the point of this sacrifice. A truly amazing move, spectacular move by Bobby Fischer. Right now, Byrne picks up this knight, and Bobby Fischer firstly plays knight g4 check. Right now, this king is under attack and he has to move somewhere. Robert Byrne plays king g1. Our game continues with knight picking up on e3, and right now this queen and this rook are forked. Byrne was really happy with this position, believe it or not. He also mentions that after he played queen d2 here, he was actually surprised that Fischer entered this line, and he thought that this line was completely bad for him, because after knight picks up on d1 and rook picks up on d1, white is doing perfectly fine. And white is happy actually with this position, and that is the reason why Byrne was so stunned with this line. But Byrne didn't see this, that after queen picks up on d2, we don't want to pick up white's rook. We want to pick up his bishop, and that's the idea behind this move. After this move, white continues with picking up this knight, and now there is only one move that actually gives black a decisive advantage. If you wish, you can pause the video, try to find it yourself, but I believe you can find it. It's not that difficult in these sort of positions. And this move is d4. With this move, your idea is to put this bishop on b7 and then attack this weak king. Now, if you play immediately bishop b7 after, for example, king g2, if you now play bishop b7, then after knight d4, we will completely block the position as white, and we are happy. You will not be able to push this pawn, and white is really happy with this position. So that is the reason why d4 was so important, playing it immediately. Our game continued with knight picking up on d4, and now Fischer introduces his white square bishop in the attack with bishop b7 check. And after king f1, we are one more move before white resigns. After this move, white resigns the position because there is no way of defending the checkmate or either losing a lot of material. And of course, I will show you all of the important variations in this game. Firstly, we will go a little bit back. So after king f1, maybe instead of this move, white could have played king g1. Maybe that would try and save the game. Unfortunately, this doesn't work as well because we have a beautiful bishop picks up on d4, and if you continue with queen picking up on d4, then Fischer has this amazing deflection tactic with rook e1 check. And if you decide, for example, to pick up this rook, of course, then your queen will fall and the game is over. We have insane material advantage. But after rook e1, if you decide to go king f2, then we continue with queen picking up on d4 check, and after you pick up our queen, we will simply pick up your rook. And again, we are one exchange up and we are one pawn up, and this is a GG and a won game for Bobby Fischer. So this is only one variation. But let's go back. After bishop picks up on d4, if you refuse to pick up this bishop and you try playing something else, for example, if you go king f1, our game would continue with queen d7, and our idea is to put this queen on h3 and then to threaten checkmate to this weak white king. So white would probably be forced to play something like knight e4 after queen h3 check. Now white has few options. One of the options for white is to block this check with queen g2. In that case, we will continue with beautiful bishop a6 check. And right now, black king doesn't have many options. He can firstly block with his rook this check, maybe rook e3, but the game is pretty much done. And of course, if you move your king and you will be forced to do so, we will pick up your queen and it's a checkmate really soon in 1 or 3 moves. Now, after queen h3, there are few more options for white. For example, if he decides to go on e2, then the game continues with queen g2 check. And after he goes on d3, we continue with queen picks up on e4 check. And after king c4, we continue with queen c6 check. And after he goes back, we continue with bishop a6 check. After this brilliant move, white is forced to pick up this bishop, and Fischer would finish with beautiful rook e4 checkmate. So that is the reason why these weren't any good for white as well. When we go back to original position, it is worth mentioning that this is where the game ended, as you all know, but Fischer mentions that he was really annoyed that white didn't want to play until the end, and he was really looking forward to this line. So after queen d7, white could have continued with queen f2, and after queen h3 check, king g1 is the only option. If you decide to block with queen, we have a white square bishop and it will be a checkmate, so this would be pretty much forced. And right now, Fischer would continue with rook e1 check. Right now, if you pick up this rook, Bobby Fischer would end this line with beautiful bishop picks up on d4. Right now, this is a deflection tactic. Again, another brilliant move. You cannot pick up this bishop because this bishop is aiming at g2 and is going to be a checkmate. You will lose your queen and you will lose a lot of material, and this is not something you would like to play as white, of course, especially playing against Bobby Fischer, chess genius that he is. And this was all I prepared for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you find this game interesting, and hopefully this game gave you some nice ideas for maybe your games. Truly a spectacular game. It's a treat for anyone that enjoys chess. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a comment, like and share this video, as it really helps me a lot. And also, we will see each other in the next video. I wish you all a pleasant day. Bye bye.